Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 98 of Like, Share, Follow. And on this episode, I have the amazing Laura Markwort, who is a diverse learning teacher with Education Queensland. So welcome, Laura.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks so much for being on the show. And look, we were just chatting about when you graduated, and it would have been, you said it was around 2016 that you finished at the University of the Sunshine Coast. So what degree did you do? And then give me your story of what happened since the time you left University of the Sunshine Coast to right now. I mean, we don't have it all night, but it's
yeah,
in a nutshell.
Short and sweet.
You've had a really interesting career journey. So please, share it with us.
Yeah, so I did a Bachelor of Communications and my majors were advertising and public relations. So from there, obviously that's quite broad. There's a lot you can, like I was saying, do with it. But I decided to go into the marketing avenue. So I graduated and I got a job as a account manager for a digital marketing agency, specifically in the search engine optimization, so working with Google with clients. So I did that for about a year, and then I decided that I wanted to move to London. And I did the same thing. I worked in digital marketing, and we were building websites for clients, small to medium businesses. So that was quite interesting and challenging as well. Then I came back to Australia and I worked in digital marketing again in search engine optimization, but I went into a management role. So I had a team of about 7 account managers that I worked with. And that was really challenging because I think I was about 24. So I probably bit off a bit more than what I could chew at the time because it was really full on. But I learned a lot, which was, it was interesting. And from there, I really loved the training component, and I really loved the, the education process that I had in place there. And it really got me thinking that I wanted a job in something that was a little bit more hands-on and a little bit not so much behind a desk all the time. Yeah. So I actually decided to come back to USC and study my master's in primary education. And I finished that mid last year, and that's what brought me to education. And I worked a little bit doing relief teaching and that kind of thing. And now something I'm really passionate about is the disability sector, and working with diverse learners, students with disabilities and high needs. So that's where I am now. So completely different, but I feel like I've definitely, there's been things that have been transferable. There's a lot that you can bring from all of it, but I am in a different spot to what I probably expected to be when I graduated, for sure.
Yeah. But that's often the case, isn't it? You think you know where you're going to go, and then life just takes you somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess you find what you're good at and you figure out what you want to build in, and that's all just a learning. It's all learning. I don't think it ever stops, really.
Yeah, no, that's so true. And so tell me, what has been some of the best advice, career advice, that you've been given along your journey?
I think best advice that I probably didn't take, which in hindsight, I'm I really should have taken that advice, is work-life balance is huge, particularly in an industry like marketing or communications or social media. And there's always more that can be done. You're going to be busy, and there's always more that you can do, and there's got to be a point where you go, do you know what, I might need a little brain break. I might need to go and get a drink or go for a walk and step away from your desk and make sure you keep up, self-care and all of that stuff, because I think in the end you can go crazy with it, and everyone wants to be good at what they do, but you do need to take care of yourself. I think that's a big one that I try to do now, and I probably didn't do when I was a bit younger, I think.
Yeah. No, I totally relate to that one. And so reflecting on your time at uni, I know you've done 2 different degrees. So maybe, I guess, you can focus on both if you wanted to, but what have been some of the skills that you found and knowledge that you found really helpful when going out into the workplace and applying, you know, in your two very different careers? What have been some of the helpful things that you've learned?
So I think, I think this applies to both degrees. I think that theory is great, and I think that it has a big place in whatever you do. But I've found in both of my degrees that I think what really gave me more of a knowledge and more confidence was the practical things. So for your teaching, it is your placement at schools, because you're thrown in there, which is good because you see the job. And also with my first degree, it was so I did internships, one for public relations, where I actually went to a little agency just out of Brisbane, and I was doing, you know, media releases and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's where I really got exposure to what it was actually like. And it's nice to do that without having the pressure of this is actually my role, and you still have responsibility, but you get to trial it. So I think I encourage people to go, if they can, even before studying, go and volunteer somewhere, and just see if you like it. Like before I did my second degree, I went and helped with a reading program as a volunteer at a little school, just to see if I liked the idea of teaching, and it gave, you know, it kind of gave me that affirmation of, oh yeah, I do like this. So I think was huge for me. Yeah,
that's great. And on the flip side of that, what sort of knowledge or experience I guess the knowledge and experience that you wish you'd gained at university, apart from, say, the practical, like what is something specific that when you got out into the workplace, you're like, oh, I have to learn this now because I never got that in my degree?
Oh, I've got to think. I guess it's a different landscape. Like, it's a professional landscape. So, I mean, you can't really teach how to be professional, but that's something that you definitely learn. I don't know how you could incorporate that, but there's different things that are expected of you when you have done a degree, I think. Like, you go in and you do have that tertiary education. So I don't know how you would do it, but just I don't know how, procedural stuff, I don't know if that would help people, but you definitely have to learn a lot of that on the job, and that's just kind of an expectation. But everywhere's different, so it's hard. I don't know if you could really do much to help with that, but that's really one area where I think, you know, you didn't maybe learn so much about it, but I don't, again, like I said, I don't know how you could put that in there, but that's a big part of it. Yeah. The induction, the 9 to 5, the HR stuff, where to go for help if you need help, where to, like, all of that resourcing. I mean, again, it's, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how you would cover it, but that was pretty big, I think, and a bit daunting when I first started working professionally.
Yeah. Okay. And what do you think set you apart when you first maybe finished university for the first time and was going into the industry? What do you think set you apart from other graduates in getting those first roles?
I think that I tried to be really I tried to be adapt. Like, I tried to, when I was doing my resume and everything like that, and sending in my CV, I tried to make it personalized. So I didn't just send out, 20 applications with the exact same wording, the exact same cover letter. I tried to make it, do a bit of company research, look at what key phrases they were kind of looking for, see if that fit in with something that I was, passionate about. And if I did, I would try and draw on anything that was relevant, just to make it, because obviously when you apply for a job, it's such a big pool of people. To even get an interview is really hard. So I think you need to personalize every application, and it takes a lot more time. But I think overall that you get a better result from it, from my experience. Yeah. Okay.
And so I know you don't really work in digital marketing anymore, but you do in social media, I'm sure, just a little. So what's been something that you've seen or learned about social media in the last couple of weeks that you found really interesting?
I think, I know it sounds old school, and it probably it is, but I think that in my industry that I'm in now, for example, and I think there would be something similar for social media and all of those other kind of different areas, is that there's actually big communities online, and it's LinkedIn, but it's also even Facebook. Like, there's a page that I follow that it's a teaching one, and it's got all of this big teaching community. And if they're looking for, because a lot of people have to go rural and stuff like that to get a job. And if they're looking for someone, they'll put it out there. So a lot of pre-service teachers, new graduates, are going on there, and they're forming connections online. And two of my friends have gone through and gotten jobs through this, and it's been really, really good for them. So I think just trying to form a community is probably, because that might not be specific to social media, but there's always online avenues.
Oh, absolutely. And there's communities and groups about any topic and any sort of interest in every sort of career. And so, no, that's great advice to find your community, because that's really about connecting with others in the space. And that's where a lot of the deals and the jobs are offered. They're not always advertised officially. So, no, that's great.
No, sometimes you can get in earlier, or you might know someone. And it's that saying, it's all about who you know, not what you know. And that, I think that I really find that's true for a lot of places and a lot of different industries. So, I would definitely get on board with any of those that you can find online. I think there's like a plethora of them. So that would be my advice for sure.
Excellent. And speaking of advice, what advice would you, so we're in sort of graduation time right now. So yesterday was the graduation at our Moreton Bay campus, which we have that now. That wasn't there when you.
Wow. Cool.
So the graduation there was really great. And then next week we've got the Sippy Downs campus ones. So thinking about when people, emerging professionals about to enter the workplace. So what advice would you give to them about succeeding in their careers?
I think you need to be yourself. You need to look for what makes you happy, because I've done it. You can change at any point. So if you go down an avenue and you're not particularly loving it, obviously give it a go, but don't be scared to change and adapt. It's not failure. It's just you're growing, and it's growth. And I think that you learn as you go, and any job that you work in it's none of it's stagnant. Like, even if you are in social media or education or anything, you're always learning. There's always updates. So I think you just have to be, don't think it's over and it's done. You're going to be constantly learning, and just, I think it's good to embrace it and take it on board. Yeah.
Excellent. That's great advice. And my final question for you is, it's the name of the whole show, and that's, who do you like, share, and follow?
Oh. I don't know, a lot of things. I think the biggest one for me is my union as a teacher. We have the Queensland, the union, teachers union, and that's really, really good to see, like, the latest things that are coming up procedure-wise, expectations and stuff like that. So for me, if you have a union in any area that you work in, that's been really good for me, because I don't know, you just stay on top of everything. You don't get shocked by anything that comes in. So work-wise, that would be the one that I go to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of the questions. Do you have any final words of wisdom to share before we finish the episode?
Oh, not really. Just have fun, enjoy it, and don't be hard on yourself. Just do your best and be yourself and enjoy. Well done for all the hard work you've done studying.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Laura. And so this brings us to the end of episode 98. So I haven't got anyone lined up yet for episodes 99 or 100, but when we reach 100, that's the end of Like, Share, Follow. So if you studied at least one social media course at UniSC and have graduated, and you would like to be in one of the very final episodes of Like, Share, Follow, please get in touch and I'll put you on the show. So thank you again, Laura, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in episode 99. Thanks.
Goodbye.